Gone are the days of formal etiquette. Blah, blah, blah intro that I was in the process of revising over the last couple of months and did not complete. This is No Etiquette, the podcast where we address modern etiquette questions in a nonsense fashion. I'm Vivian Lee, coming to you from Singapore, and joining me is my best friend, Sophia Bose, in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Hi, Sophia.
Hi, Vivian. How are you?
I'm doing well. Here we are. It has been so long since we recorded an episode that you could not get into Discord, which we used to record these episodes.
I know. How can someone forget their password in 2 months?
It's been more than 2.
Really?
It's been at least 3 or 4, right? I don't think it's only been 2. I think the last one we did was like for New Year's, except that we did it after New Year's because we didn't have our ducks in a row.
So March,
Like
April, May, June.
something like
4 months?
that. Maybe March? I don't even know. It has not been 2 months.
Not been 2.
So you forgot your Discord password. I could not remember where I put the script that I read from, which I found. It was in my Google Drive. I just didn't feel like reading it. I really have. I remember. Do you remember I sent you? I was rewriting it. I was like, I finally know what it's about, and
Yeah.
I think I know where that note is. But
Do
but
we
you know what?
need an intro?
I
we're
would like
supposed
an
to be-
intro.
You would like an intro. Okay. I was just trying to
Yeah.
understand whether it was an etiquette thing that we could put aside or if it was.
So I think of it as, and I apologize for anybody if you're joining us and if this is your first episode. Welcome to the Wild West of being in between intros. But I actually enjoy the intros of most shows I listen to. There are a couple that I forward through, but I think it is like the bridge is between the familiar and the unknown. But you need a little familiar to cross into the unknown, and for people like me, the structure is reassuring, and that is like the familiarity is comforting. It's like, did you? Okay, I'm almost certain you did not because you grew up not watching a lot of things. But did you ever watch any episode of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
No, I didn't.
Have you seen any of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
No, I've heard of him though. I heard he was a nice guy. People seem to like him.
He was a lovely man, and his show was highly structured because it was a children's show and it was like segment by segment. Oh, this is a good segue to what we're going to talk about today.
Oh,
but
really? Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, it was very like he would come in and sing the intro song, and then he would do certain things. And I watched a little as a child. I don't remember it super clearly, but I can remember roughly how the show would go. And one of the things I remember very clearly is that he would always feed the fish. It was one of the things he would do on the show. He would be like, now I'm feeding the fish. And I have a fun story about that. Well, fun, I guess, is I have a wholesome story about that, which is apparently once a child wrote into him. It was a visually impaired girl, and apparently she cried because there was an episode she wasn't sure if he had fed the fish or not. And so from then on, he always said it aloud, like, now I'm feeding the fish. He said it better than that, but like, time to feed the fish. And he would feed the fish.
That's so lovely.
It was lovely. He made a point to say it for that girl and for everybody, like people like me who feel calmer when things are the same.
That is very wholesome. You chose the right word.
Very wholesome. So that is some of my thinking behind an episode. And the other part is like, I think it's nice that if somebody who joins at any given episode gets a little context to know if they'll want to keep listening or not. I think those are the main functions of the intro. So I don't like too much jumping in with no intro whatsoever because it's harder. I think it's harder to get into for someone who's starting.
I agree. So I have a comment which I'll say it and then you'll say, "Oh, what a bore." Is that how you pronounce that word?
Yeah.
Is it a bore? Is it a
bore? Yeah.
Bore. Like, so is there a reason that like people don't use like a pre-recorded intro that they just clip on?
Oh, some people do. And that's fine. But to me, I'm thinking of one show in particular that I really like. I
Uh-huh.
like Hello
Uh-huh.
from the Magic Tavern very much,
Uh-huh.
and they speak the intro every single time. They've done it for 10 years now,
Oh my
and
gosh.
some of it's the same and some of it they'll change up a little, but I've come to
Uh-huh.
realize from that show specifically, I actually really like that they go through it the whole way through. I don't know.
Oh, that's
Something
wonderful.
about I'll skip the shows that have the pre-recorded intro.
Yeah. Ah, 'cause yeah, it's not the same and it's not part of the thing, but this is yeah.
Yeah. It's exactly this. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
when you're watching a TV show and like the
Yeah.
beginning credits, like after the first
Yeah.
time you can skip it because it's
You
exactly
can
the
skip it.
same.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But if a human
Yeah.
being is saying the intro to me again live,
Yeah.
in a certain mood, I'll listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, well, now I
Yeah.
understand.
That is
I
my whole thinking
understand.
behind the intro. And at the same time, I feel that our intro has not quite lived up to my dream of what our intro could be. So that is why I just did not bother reading it this time.
Okay. Well, we wouldn't have had this discussion, right, if you did read
Mm,
it,
yeah,
and I think we can
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
See, we're growing. Like, now we're having
We're
discussions
growing.
about how our
We're growing. Dear
we're growing.
listeners, you listen to us grow before your very ears.
Uh-huh.
But what makes this an effective segue into today is we wanted to talk about segments.
Mhm.
And just you made such a serious face. Um, because for months now, dear
Mhm.
listeners, Sophia and I have been saying, "Oh, we should record an episode again." Our friend Nick in Singapore said, "Oh, when's your next episode going to be?" You know,
Mhm.
we've had popular requests for more episodes, but we have just not quite gotten it together. And tonight we had we were not even talking about the podcast. We were talking about something else. I was telling you my shocking true crime story from I didn't say true crime. At first I said, Sophia, I have a crimes against coffee story for you this week.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Shall I retell it now?
I would like you to.
All right, here's my crimes against coffee that I committed this week. So, yesterday I was at a volunteer meeting
Uh-huh.
and I was talking with my friend Fiona, whom I don't know super well. Fiona is, as I told you, into specs.
Mhm.
Fiona's job is some kind of videography production. Fiona's someone who knows technical specs and cares about them. And I find out talking to her yesterday that Fiona really likes coffee and
Oh.
has uh, informed opinions about her preferred type of coffee, which I think is great. This is how we should all be in life.
Mhm. I agree.
But she was sort of saying something about, when someone starts using the words like pour over, is that the word? Pour over?
I think that is. I
And
think so.
like drip and filter and like when someone uses like several of them in a string, I know that this person knows something about coffee and she's not trying to be snob about it. She just knows what she wants in coffee
Uh-huh.
and had like some
Mhm.
rapturous stories about good
Ooh.
coffee she's had.
Uh-huh.
So we're all talking about coffee so much that somebody else at the meeting goes like, all right, that's it. We got to have some coffee. So we're having this meeting in church. We leave the meeting room. We troop over to like the kitchenette area. And I think we got at first I didn't join them, so I joined them later, and it was just me and Fiona. And I said, "Oh, do you know how to operate the Nespresso machines? That's what we have."
Mhm.
And I was telling you, Sophia, I'm not a big Nespresso fan because I think the little plastic capsules are bad for the planet. But it is
Mhm.
as we discussed, a highly convenient machine that both of us could see at some point, like if our lives got to a certain state where we were what are the coffee that most accommodated us was an espresso machine, we could see
Uh-huh.
ourselves going there, right?
Yep.
Like,
Mhm. Absolutely. No
so
doubt about it.
no, I mean, no, it for all the functions we described, right? Like hotel
Yep.
lobby, like anyway, needed it at home, want to drink instant, but like wanted a little better. But anyway,
Uh-huh.
so I go, Fiona, do you know how to operate it? And she goes like, yeah, I think there's like two buttons and one of them like makes like the overly concentrated one and like one makes like the regular shot. So she like
Uh-huh.
puts the capsule in and I think she presses the wrong one. She goes like, "Oh, something like, this is the wrong one. I'll make you another one." I'm
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh, it's okay. Like, I'll drink it." So she puts the first, maybe it was a ristretto shot aside, and then
Uh-huh.
like puts another capsule and presses the second button and makes like the correct amount. And so she gives me these two little paper cups of coffee, that I was like,
Uh-huh.
don't throw it away. I'll drink it.
Uh-huh.
And I was so sleepy. I'm very tired. We're both very tired. We've both you and
Uh-huh.
me. We've had quite a few however months we've had.
Yeah.
We don't even
Mhm.
know.
Well, yeah, we don't know.
We don't even know. And without thinking, I just thought, we have to like open this heavy glass door to go back. And so I was
Mhm.
just like, why would I carry 2 cups? So I poured one of them
Yeah.
into the other and she just froze. She was so shocked. She was so shocked that she said something like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, like you just combined them." And I went, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I was like, "I'm sorry I've offended you." And she was like, "No, no, it's okay. I'm not
Oh,
offended." I think she was trying to be courteous,
yeah.
something we care
Yeah,
very
yeah,
much
yeah.
about on the show, but I could just see that
Uh-huh.
she was shocked at what I had done. And
Mhm.
and that was my crime against coffee this week. But you persuaded me it was no crime at all.
No crime at all. Oh, should I explain my reasons?
Please
I
explain
mean,
your
for
reasoning.
me, it's the crime so evident or no crime. It's such a not crime that, like, I don't even need to explain it, but, I mean, okay, it's
Self-evidently
Nespresso
no crime.
coffee. It's
Yeah.
self-evident. It's Nespresso. Does it even matter if you're mixing in the dirt? Like, it has nothing. It's no purity of coffee left. And I have nothing against it. As you
Yeah.
guys all know on this show now, I drink instant coffee, which, by the way, I
You've
had this
sunk.
morning. I've
Mhm.
I'm yeah, I've sunk. Not only have I sunk, but I relish it too. I stew in my like, I stew in it, and I take pride in it now. It's so, you know, like, if you're gonna have Nespresso, does it really matter if you mix the 2? I don't think so. It's not
Mhm.
real coffee, you know?
Or it's like the level of coffee it is such that it is not sullied by more or less
Interchangeable.
water. Interch
Yeah, this is interchangeable.
Yeah. It has not compromised it in any significant
It is
way.
already compromised in every way, shape, and form, and nothing can be done to compromise it further.
Yeah. It's
And now
already
it's just
debased.
joy, just enjoyment. Just
I
take the
know, I did
caffeine.
enjoy it. It was
There
not
you go.
bad.
I
Yeah.
I believe you.
Yeah, it was an illy capsule, I should say. Actually, maybe it wasn't an espresso machine. Maybe it was like an
Uh-huh.
I don't know, but it was an illy capsule. It was
No, yeah, yeah,
specifically
yeah. Yeah, no.
which was pretty good, and I really wanted some coffee, and I had wanted some black coffee, which I almost never
Ooh.
do. I really thought
Oh,
I put a
that's
packet
true,
of coffee in my bag.
you do put creamer, yeah.
I
You
always
do.
put, like, milk in
Mhm.
it if I
Yeah,
can.
you
Yeah, I
do.
like it better with
Mhm.
milk, but there was something I think I was kind of full from lunch. Anyway, I wanted black coffee, and there was black
Yeah.
coffee, and I was happy, but I'm sure Fiona uh, she was very well-mannered, but was taken aback.
Oh my
A crime was
goodness.
committed before her very eyes.
Oh my goodness. Do you think I just had a thought right now.
Mm.
There's some people that don't like, mixing things. It has less to do with the
Oh,
integrity of the thing
oh,
and more to do with they just don't like that mixing.
mm. I don't know what it was for her, but I think for her it was the coffee thing. It was
You
the
really think so? The coffee
I think it
itself?
was. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because she does coffee
I love that. I'm
correctly.
just like, it's just Nespresso if you mix it. Why? Especially if she knows coffee, right? Like, I wonder if there's a way to casually ask her that, but at this point, it becomes too much of a deal.
Like, to you, there was no crime, but
Oh,
you
no,
don't
there's
want
no crime. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
But if
already
I keep
been,
asking her about it, like, she'll start to feel a little, like
um I think she won't understand if you have some kind of pathology or not. Like, it may be that she'll, like, start talking to her other friends, and she'll say, "She did something that was kinda, like, iffy, but whatever, I just made a face." She came back to me, like, 2 weeks later, and she asked me about the face I made, and now I don't wanna be around her because anything I do with my face, like, what is she gonna read into it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at some point, she'll just stop. Like, somehow she'll connect it to coffee, and then she'll just, like, not drink coffee around you. So, like, it's just
Pathologies will be developed where none were
they'll be
there
developed
before.
around coffee simply because of you and your questioning.
Well, I have no such pathologies. I was a perfectly fine encounter. I got my coffee. She told me about her favorite coffee shop, which I will visit sometime.
Ooh.
And yeah, she gave me good advice about buying a hair dryer. It's
Oh,
good to
what
have
kind
some
of
specs
hairdryer?
people in your life.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, it
I
is, it
am
is.
I'm shelling out for a Dyson hairdryer, which everybody
Look at you. Yeah.
literally everybody I talk to, literally everybody I
Everybody and
talk
their
to
mother. Yes, everybody.
says that
Yes,
it is
this
the
is
best
true.
hairdryer, and so mine
They
is
do.
broken, and I will upgrade, and it will cost a lot of money, but they all say it lasts a long time. So,
Yeah, and yeah. No, I have seriously considered this Dyson of which you speak. Um, the thing is that I don't know how to get past the fact that hair is like, um, for me, it's like it has to be air dried. Like it's like I don't see the point in
oh,
not air drying. I've never had very long hair, and so I think with
mm,
people with really long hair, it's like I
mm.
can see the need, right? Because it'll stay damp for a long time. Um,
Yeah, it's the damp. It's like some people want to style it like it looks better if you blow dry it, if you know what you're doing. But you also have
yes.
now you have your like you have that great hair curling thing
Yes.
that you showed me in
I
Norway.
do. I do, and,
Yeah.
it has, like, a little hair dry situation. It's like a blow dryer thing.
Oh,
Um, I don't use it very often unless I'm gonna go I think I started using it for work,
yeah.
but I still like, when I take showers at home, and if
Yeah.
I'm not planning on going anywhere, I don't do anything, and then what I do is before I go out, I,
Mm,
dampen my hair, and then
Uh,
I use that, and it makes it look fine.
yeah.
But I air dry it still for the
It's
most
fine.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just used to air dry my hair, and then uh my like traditional Chinese medicine doctor person said to like dry your hair so you don't get headaches, which I don't know if is totally
Oh,
true or not, but I think
yeah.
it's a thing. It can be a
It
thing.
okay, okay.
Yeah. So for that reason,
Yeah.
even in tropical humid Singapore, I am now drying
Yeah.
my hair every
Yeah, yeah,
day.
yeah.
And
Aw,
I am getting fewer headaches. I mean, it may not be from that, but it is a fact that
it's
I
from
think I
something.
maybe it
We
helps.
Yeah, it could. I
Okay.
think it could help. I think it could
Yeah.
help.
So that's the reason I do it. I would not bother otherwise.
Okay.
Um, so that's all right. So speaking of segments, someday if we do a review segment, we can revisit this hair, which we are not in any fashion getting paid to do. Maybe someday when we have like sponsors, then we'll do the
Mhm.
review segment. But for
Yeah. Yeah,
today,
yeah, yeah.
what
Yeah.
we came up with was we said at first suggested we should do a crimes against coffee segment, and I suggested we call it the true crimes segment. Both names are pleasing to me, but I like the
Uh-huh.
idea of us having on this etiquette podcast a true crimes segment
I
where we
agree.
discuss true crimes we have participated in, true crimes we would like to report. Uh,
I have to ask, what is a
yeah.
crime?
Wow. It
I
is
readily agreed
violation.
to having a true crime segment, but I was, like, not sure what a crime actually was. Like, I
I
mean, I know
suppose
conceptually.
Right, right. I suppose it is technically a violation of the law. Like where there is no law, there is no crime.
Okay.
Unless you take like natural law, like right, if maybe on a technicality, but I think strictly speaking, it is a violation of agreed upon laws, I think.
So, is my understanding correct then that all of the crimes of which we speak are more about the natural law? Because truly, I don't think there's any,
Sure.
like
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. They're of like the nonsense natural law.
correct. Yes,
Like the
nonsense natural law. I think that's what this is, right?
Yeah.
It's a nonsense natural law crime segment. Okay,
Yeah.
I like it.
Mm. Do you have a crime to report?
Um, do I have a crime to report? Um, uh, 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 oh, well, okay, okay. I don't know if this is a crime, but since we were talking about food,
Mhm.
this is the closest thing I can think of.
Mm.
Um, so in the summertime, there's this like daily kind of festival that happens in Ann Arbor. It's called Top
It's
of the Park.
daily? It's daily?
It's daily except for Mondays, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a daily. They'll have concerts. It's like for a month or two in the summer. I know, it's a whole thing. And I've walked past it, but it's one of those things where if you feel like you need a certain kind of like family structure, or like you see a
Uh,
lot of like kids and parents and like or
yeah.
couples, like or
Yeah.
couples. So it's like I always felt really like I didn't belong.
Mm.
Um, but I went with one of my friends and her
Mm.
baby the other day, maybe yesterday, even or the day before, I can't remember. And I had my lunar birthday, and she got me this like little souffle cheesecake,
Mhm.
and um, we had it out on the little grass where we had our little picnic situation. And then her little daughter proceeded to sneeze and cough multiple times with lots of phlegm all over it because she really was, yeah. And there was a moment where I was like, this should gross me out, but it's a cheesecake. It's a nice day. And we just ate the whole thing. So I might get sick tomorrow. I don't know. But it felt like it wouldn't be right to not eat it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that's
You did
the
the right
only
thing.
sort of, any sort of moral reckoning that I've had to really deal with,
You did the right thing. You, I think to have refused to eat the cake and made a fuss about it would have been the crime. Especially, like, the daughter's, like, your friend's daughter's very young, right?
So young. She's gonna turn 3 in, like, 2 weeks, maybe?
Yeah. So young. Yeah.
So young.
Yeah. You did great. I made this face when you were talking. It was 2 happy lunar birthdays. We talked about it. It was my birthday, and you had said it was your lunar birthday. I'm so sorry.
No,
happy lunar birthday.
You shouldn't be, because I waited until 30 minutes into our conversation to say happy birthday. We're fine. We're equally no etiquette about this. We're good.
Oh no, but you texted me on the day. It was so sweet of you to remember. And like birthday memories are so. I mean, speaking of like our like struggle, our many struggles, where like something I still have not done is that since I moved back to Singapore, some parts of my accounts are still locked to like LA, like, and so I think my calendar, either my Google Calendar, but one of my calendars, any date that I put in before the move has stuck to that day. So all my friends' birthdays are a day off.
Yeah.
And I just haven't there's a simple way to go check, and I just have not bothered. Instead, what I do is every time I wish someone happy birthday, I go, is it your birthday today or tomorrow? Because I have it on my calendar and my calendar is wrong. This is the full explanation I give every time, rather than fix it at the source. A known problem with a simple solution of some kind. Happy lunar birthday. I'm sorry.
I have to say, I do think, thank you. But I think your question of, is it today, is it tomorrow, is an added, I think it's better than just saying happy birthday. And here's why. It's because not only did you care enough to say it, but there's so many things in your brain. And this is so important that you would keep it despite not even knowing the exact thing. And they can watch your struggle and how much you care versus if you just remembered it and there was no journey, there was nothing.
There was no build up. There was no rising action.
No rising action. No arrival. Just nothing. Nothing. Just nothing. So
yeah. Yeah. No struggle, no victory. No guts, no glory.
Exactly. In fact, from now on, you should be like, is it your birthday today or tomorrow? Aren't you glad I asked and I cared and that I struggled?
Yeah. I struggled for you.
For you, I struggled.
Rather than just getting it right, I struggled for you.
I worked. I didn't just get it handed down to me, like
someone who fixed their calendar.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. But wait, I want to get back to that because I don't want to skip over your crime story. I think you did very well. You did not commit a crime. You enjoyed your souffle cheesecake. You hopefully won't get sick. And if you do, I mean,
what's the crime?
Well, I mean, yeah. No, but no crime was committed. Something I was thinking about with your this is sort of tangentially related, but there's something to be said about like the etiquette of spaces where someone brought this up today. I think it was in the context of church and other places like that, where when you're going to a space where people tend to go with a group, such spaces can feel less inclusive because it's harder to meet people at them. Even though you think like, here's a public space where everyone can be met, because many people are turning up in set groups and are not, in that sense, not, maybe they are open to meeting new people, but they've already come with people. So they're, it makes it a little harder. It's those people they want to be with. And that's like, unfortunate, but I'm glad that you went with friend and baby.
Yeah. Friend baby. Okay, there's one note and then I want to hear your crime. I noticed that friend baby, She, like,
Mm,
every time she sees another baby that looks like her,
mm.
she stares at that baby, and they look at each other. It's great. Like, we don't do that as grown-ups anymore. Like, if we see someone that kinda looks like us, we don't just, like, put our arms down and just stare at them, you know?
That's funny. No, no, and as soon as you said that, I think I either saw this happen in an airport or somebody told me the story, but of just, like, exactly this, 2 babies, like,
Uh-huh.
really checking each other out, and, in
Yeah.
this, like, "You're like me" kind
Yeah.
of
And they arms down, like, just, like, that's all they're doing. Like, they're absorbing the other person, and it's fine. It's fine. You're not breaking any rules.
No.
There's no
Yeah.
etiquette involved.
Yeah.
We
You're
were
right.
to
Wouldn't
do
it be
that?
great
Yeah.
if we were to do that as like, if I could go alone to this top of the park, or even if you went in a group, top of the park, but you looked across at, the grassy knoll and you saw someone and just, like, you took each other in, like, wouldn't that be
Yeah, you just have
great?
your arms down. It'd be great. And people would think you're developmentally, like, set back or something or some point. Like, nobody would, like, because people don't do that, right? Or they'd think something creepy. They would think something was
Yeah,
off.
they would think something's off. I can think of just in a passing, there was a moment a couple weeks ago. Actually, this is with Fiona. Fiona and, like, another person who had just joined our volunteering recently.
Uh-huh.
Um, they showed up and met each other, and they look a little similar. There's just, like, a certain type, they had, like, short hair, they
Mm.
had glasses, they were kind of the same height,
Mhm.
and it was so funny to I feel like when they looked at each other, they had this moment of, like, "Ah!" Like, I recognized that, like, it was like when 2 dogs, and I'm not, like, demeaning it, but, like, it's like when 2
Yeah,
dogs
yeah,
who are
yeah.
the same meet each other and they see this, like,
Yeah.
"Aha."
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah,
before
yeah.
that, we hadn't met in
Oh.
person, like, the name, you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this person's
Yeah, yeah,
joining
yeah.
us, like, let's see what she's like,"
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
just felt to me there was a little moment of, like, pure recognition when they saw each
Aw.
other.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe I'm
yeah.
over it, but it did feel to me like that,
Oh, I
which was
like
quite
that.
charming to me. I'm glad you kind of
Yeah.
brought this up. Have you had a moment where you kind of looked across the room at somebody and was like, "Ah, I recognize you. Let us meet now, but I feel like I know you because I know the thing that you are."
Oh, that's such a beautiful way of phrasing it or conveying that. That's such a good question too.
'Cause I think that's the specific we're talking about, like, I see you, I know you because I recognize myself in you type of meeting.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
particular kind.
Yeah. I can't like, I can't think of something right now, but can you?
I can think of some childhood friendships. There was one
Mm.
time, it was 5 or something, on a cruise
Yeah.
ship, I met this girl,
Uh-huh.
and we were, like, instant friends, and we were like, "We must,
Wow.
like, meet each other," and I just remember my mom saying something like, "She lives in the mountains." To this day, I don't know where this girl was from.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's from the
From her own
mountains.
I don't know what that meant. Maybe it was just like, like I don't know, like the Rockies or like, I don't think it's like, the Alps. It was just I don't know what my mom meant by that. I should ask her.
I love that your
But
mother said mountains, like, of all the things to say, right? Like, she's from the
from the
mountains.
mountains. We were on a cruise to the Bahamas. I mean, so I think we both converged from different, but I just remember, like, this girl, like, we were tight friends. I had a few, like, there was a guy in kindergarten. We were tight. I still hope to meet him again someday. He was my
Ah,
soulmate.
yeah. Aw.
Um, and then, like, my best friend in first grade, there was just, like, a very early on kind of
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's so rare in adulthood. Maybe because, like, not in a totally bad way, but you're more complex as an adult, right? You've been through more things. There's more of you to meet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Uh, okay, I have to say something that I find
Yeah,
extremely charming. Like, your
please.
mother saying that she's from the mountains, it made
She's
me
from the
realize,
mountain.
like, how much of okay, so, like, when a mom is talking to their child, right,
Mhm.
most of the time, it's in a private space or private enough space, like, it's in the home or it's at home, it's like
Mm,
well, any conversation really, right? Like, not everything
mm.
is private, but, um, like, do you think moms, they allow themselves to be, like, a little kooky in ways that they wouldn't in front of other people, but it's a secret because the only person that knows is the kid. Like,
Mm. Yeah.
and they let slip these things that are real and
Mm.
different, and they get to be this
Mm.
Like,
Definitely. I
your
think that's right.
mother got to see her, that whoever that child, and I had this, like, associate of, like, "Oh my gosh, she's from the mountains," and then she gets to tell you this, which in no other context, like, to another grown up, you just wouldn't. Um
Yeah, I think that's right, especially when your child is kinda young.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, the kooky side, maybe it goes both ways too a little bit, like, cause kids say such funny things. So I have a story about
Yeah.
this. I was hanging out all my stories are church stories today, but I was hanging out with this kid I watch sometimes in church. He's, like, just turned 5, I think,
Uh-huh.
and we were watching one of our TVs had blown, so we were
Uh-huh.
watching this guy, like, replace the TV. He had the TV in the
Uh-huh.
big box, and he was, like, remounting the new TV.
Uh-huh.
And somehow it came up that we were, like, talking about, like maybe I asked the kid, like, "How old do you think this guy is?" Or maybe it came up maybe we were talking about how old
Uh-huh.
we were or something,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
the kid goes, 13. And this man is, like, at least in his 40s or something. I don't know, right? Like,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
looks very he looks great. I don't wanna
yeah.
offend him by hazarding a guess at his age, but it is certainly
Yeah.
not 13. So I look at the child and I go, "Did you mean 13 or 30?" And he goes, "13." And I think if you spend a lot of your time with a young human who says things like that,
Yeah.
you
Yeah, yeah,
too
yeah.
begin to say some
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
tricky
Yeah.
things.
Oh my god. Oh, this is kind of lovely. I think if we were to do another segment,
Oh,
I wish it would be, like, things that mothers say or, like, things that you say to a kid instead of how they always say funny things kids say, but they never
yeah,
have the opposite? It's like
you're right. Funny things your parents have said to oh, that's true, or your parents, or, like, sometimes, like, you think back to some weird things your
yeah.
teachers said to you. Not weird, bad, but just,
Yeah.
like, you were a funny human.
Like, did it
We
tell
could
you
have
my
some
mom would make up
yeah.
words?
No, really?
Yeah, 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 no, and she would do it quite seriously, and me and my sister, we thought that they were Bengali words, like, I mean, we have no other frame of reference, we believed it.
Yeah.
So when we go to Bangladesh, we're running around, like, using these words, and they're just like, "What on earth are you saying?" And we're like, "This is a real word," like and they're like, "No, it's not." And then I'll go to my mom would go to my mom and be like, "People are saying this is not a real word." And she'd be like, "Yeah, it's not."
Oh my gosh. So I love this because okay, the stories you've told me about your mother, I have
Uh-huh.
not heard too many stories about your mother being playful.
True. This is one of
This
the
is a
few
kind of
yeah,
playfulness. Yeah,
very playful, yes.
that's great.
Thank you.
Um, we could do some kind of segment. Yeah, we're
I
rich
mean,
in
this
segments
is
now that
yeah, we're rich in
segments are on the
segments.
table. We're rich in
Yeah,
segments. We
yeah.
have to wrap up soon, but I have thought of this makes me happy because there's a story I would like to tell from a small one, but it would fit a
Uh-huh,
segment of like, like strange things I have overheard this week.
yeah.
Um, my friend Liza here,
Uh-huh,
also church
uh-huh,
friend. I think this is most of the people I know, I guess. I know people at work and I know people at church. These are the people I see regularly. But
uh-huh,
Liza is a very enthusiastic kayaker. And one of
uh-huh.
the things she does when she kayaks is if she sees like trash in the ocean, she'll pick it up. And she
Uh-huh.
like actually has an Instagram where she'll like post pictures of the trash and like pictures of
Oh,
her picking it up and like pictures of her
yeah, yeah, yeah.
kayaking and little videos and stuff. That's kind of her I guess I don't even know if she would see it as like her giving back thing, but it's who she
Uh-huh.
is. Like she kayaks, she
Yeah.
picks up trash in the ocean. This is
Yeah, yeah,
her
yeah.
way of being in the world and she educates
Yeah.
people to not throw trash in the ocean.
Yeah, yeah.
And we were talking about I think she's also a teacher, so we were talking about like how much should you tell students, how much should they figure things out on their own,
Mhm.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think she was kind of heaving a big sigh and saying something like, like who knows how much use it is to tell them these things anyway, and like
Yeah,
how much
yeah,
that
yeah.
it gets through and so on and so forth. And I was
Yeah.
trying to encourage her and cheer her up and say something like, I was trying to convey, like, I think your trash picking up Instagram has had an
Yeah.
effect on me. But I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
looked at her and I go, "Oh, but Liza, whenever I see trash, I think of you." And as soon as it left my mouth,
Oh,
I could see her reaction, and she
that's
knew I was
so
kidding
lovely.
as soon as I
Yeah.
apologized for it, but I was like, "Wow, that was a thing that came out of my mouth today."
As soon as I see trash, I think of you, is that what you said?
Yeah. That was exactly what I said to her.
You know, that's, like, the most flattering thing in the world because there's so much trash, so you must be thinking about her all the time.
Yeah,
Like, come
I think
on. Can
actually
you
I
imagine?
think I said every time I see trash, I think of you.
Yeah, and there's trash everywhere. It's so romantic. Isn't it just? I would be like, "Wow, this woman is interested in me, like, she remembers. Every time she sees trash, she thinks of me, like, wow, I'm taking up a lot of mental capacity."
It's great because this is such a you're right, like, on the romantic TV show version, it's something like, "Every time I see a
Every time
flower
I see
bloom."
trash, right? And then there's no trash. Someone has a McDonald's wrapper or, like, some shit,
Yeah,
like, it's just there, and you're like,
yeah.
"Oh,
Liza,
Liza,
my friend Liza, my
Liza."
good-hearted friend Liza.
Yeah. My god, you're right, like, she's embedded in everything now.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. I'll think of her now when I see trash, and there's lots of trash.
Great. Everybody listening to this
Well,
podcast,
think of her when I think of trash.
think of her. Great, great. She'll love this. She'll be so
Oh my
embarrassed.
goodness. I'm flattered. Come on, who wouldn't be?
I hope so. I that would be a that's one way to leave a legacy.
That's one way. Probably a very good one too.
What would
So
you
much
want what would you want every time somebody saw this thing that it made them think of you? What
flowers.
item would you pick? Really?
Flowers. Yeah,
All kinds?
any flower.
Any flower.
Any flower. Because every time you see a flower, there's this, like, instinctive joy, isn't there?
Yeah, flowers are
And it's
great.
just there. And they're, like,
Mhm,
colorful, and they're so
mhm,
different. They're so
mhm.
unexpected.
Yeah.
You see them in all kinds of spaces. You see them in
Mm,
happy ones and in sad ones. You see them in
true.
nature. You see them in, like,
Yeah.
fake things. You see them in illustrations. It's like
Wait, what are
trash,
fake things? Maybe you see them in
like,
fake things.
fake flowers, like Lego flowers
Oh,
or, like,
okay,
like
okay, okay.
What about you?
I don't know, like, you 2 have picked such, like, ubiquitous things, so that's good. You're taking up a lot of real estate in the world
Well,
in a
we
good
really
way.
want real estate in people's minds. Yeah, I don't know. We're
Yeah, you're gonna pick
I
a
like thinking.
commonplace in a good way, like, you're gonna pick a widespread thing.
Yeah.
I like, I'm such the opposite. I would want it to be a very particular thing, like,
Like what?
um, like something so specific. Okay, this is not even as particular as it could be. This is a little too common for me. But like, the novel Norwegian Wood?
Uh-huh.
Do you know the novel? It's okay if you don't.
Yeah, I've read the novel.
Okay, okay. Um, but the way it begins is like the main character many years later is like on a plane or something. He's like taking his luggage off a plane, if I'm not imagining this. I think he's getting his bag off a plane
Uh-huh.
and like the song Norwegian Wood plays and he
Uh-huh.
just goes into this like I think he like sits down and puts his head in his hands or so. Like people ask him if he's okay or something
Oh.
or maybe they don't, but he has a whole moment because of the song
Yeah.
Norwegian
Yeah,
Wood.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And I think the reason why that has some of that flavor, it's because it's not the most common Beatles song. It's a well-known song,
Mm.
but it's not like every time, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds comes on, I go into
Mm.
the recesses of my mind and I remember my youth. Like it's kind of a one of the rarer ones. Like I think that's what I would want my object to be something like quite unusual. Like a cup with two handles or something. Something like, just not commonplace, so that when you
Yeah.
saw it, it would, like, specifically, strikingly remind you of me.
This is fascinating. Like, I wonder what
Mm,
what this says about the 2 of us.
yeah.
And also, like, what the meaning of, like, association is. Because this is something I struggle with.
Eh.
Um, like, how to not how to keep a thing itself and not associate it with something else, right?
Oh, yeah,
Like,
that's
to really see
hard.
a thing.
Yeah. But, I mean, to in a way, you might also say to really see the thing is the interconnectedness of things is also
Yeah,
valuable.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, yes. I'm thinking about this. We talked about this one of the episodes about like
Mm.
old clothes, right?
You
And
have this
how,
thing with secondhand things where, like, things have juju
yeah,
for you.
yeah. So that's the thing. It's like I don't like so remembrance of those things like puts juju into the thing.
Yeah,
Um, so
yeah. Mm.
Not a cup with 2 handles, though. I mean, for
No,
you,
not a
what
cup
was
with
the
2
thing? What
handles. No,
something
something
else.
cooler than a cup with 2
Something like
handles.
Norwegian wood or something like okay.
Yeah, it has to be kind of, yeah, a little bit unusual, so that when
You
you
know what
saw
I
it,
think of?
it would strongly remember. Yeah, go, tell me.
Every time I see a spoon, I think of you.
Oh, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gasped because we're moving offices and I like threw things into bags and I have no
Uh-huh.
idea where I put the spoon that I speaking of crimes,
Uh-huh.
I think I told you the story, but in my last office, there was a time I was like working very hard and you advised
Uh-huh.
me to um you say that
Oh.
the there is no spoon in the matrix reminds you
Yeah.
that we have the power to change our reality. That is your
Yeah.
interpretation, which
Yep.
blew my mind
Yep.
because to this day I have to admit I do not really know what the spoon thing was about. I know it, but
Oh.
I like like I know it was
Yeah.
like it's like a
Yeah.
Buddhism, but like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I I don't super know it what it is doing.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
I like your
Okay. Wait, still?
interpretation.
Oh, you don't think that that's the real thing? Or you don't think that's the only or
No,
the
it's I still don't know, like, like, there is no spoon, like, do not try to bend the spoon, that's impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth. The truth? There is no spoon. There is no spoon? Then you will see that it's not the spoon that bends, but only yourself. But what does that mean? And then, like, it's like, is there no reality? That's not true. I guess it's
No,
okay.
it
Maybe it's the spoon is not. It's there is no spoon. Like okay, the thing you see before you is not the reality. Your ability to change it is what, right? That's what he's
yeah, no, I
saying.
think it's less about it's not there rather than I think
Yeah,
it's less saying that's not there. It's more saying it's not relevant.
or it's
So it's
illusory.
like
Like it's not the reality. It's not the absolute reality that you think it is. Or
it's
it's not
not
relevant. Something like that.
yeah, like it's not reality in the sense that it doesn't have to impact you. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't yeah,
yeah.
it's yeah.
Okay, okay. It's the phrasing of there is no spoon that
Yeah.
it's like there's no matrix. Like, am I being too literal about it? But that's what the phrasing of it does to me.
I mean, there is no matrix though, right?
Well, no, but there is, but it's not real. If he had simply said, "Do not try to bend the spoon," instead realize that the spoon
Oh
is
my
not
goodness.
real.
Vivian, we're gonna have a conversation about what the matrix means. We've never had that. We've had one where we loved it, but have we ever analyzed how we understand it?
Yeah, we've had this conversation.
Really?
Yeah, many conversations about what the Matrix is,
But the
but not with the
spoon
spoon.
one. No, not with the spoon.
Not with the spoon.
We have to have the spoon one. This needs to
We'll
be
never
thought
have
out.
this. We're having the spoon one, but yeah, that's anyway. This is good. This is helping me. All this time, I've been such a fan. I've never confessed that I don't totally understand the spoon part, but this is helping me. It's just a, yeah. So anyway, there was a day in my last office where I took a spoon from the kitchen and I
Huh?
put it on my desk so I could remember
Uh-huh.
that there was no
Uh-huh.
spoon, even though I didn't know what it
Uh-huh.
meant. But I liked your
Uh-huh.
interpretation, and I had it with I had it with a red piece of paper and a blue piece of paper so that I could remember
Oh.
to take the red pill. And I took that spoon from my last office when I moved to this office,
Uh-huh.
but I haven't seen the spoon in a while. I wonder if they thought it belonged to the kitchen of this office and they took the
Oh.
spoon and now the
They took
spoon's
it.
gone. Now there is
Oh
no
no.
spoon.
There was no Oh my god, that's the perfect ending to this.
For the most literal of people, this is the
Yeah,
way it had to go.
this is the way it had to go. This is the way it had to go, right? Otherwise
I'm happy.
oh my
I am happy that spoons remind me of you, though. We got spoon
they do.
necklaces that one time, and you still
I
have
still
yours. I
have
have
mine.
to confess, I think I threw mine away, which was very stupid of me, but it was a little rusty and it didn't survive the move. I should have kept it. It was so small.
I mean, it's harder to keep small things, right?
In a moving sense, no, though. Like it's hard. It's maybe hard. You can lose track of it, but I actually tend not to lose things too much, and it would have been the easiest thing in the world to. I brought so much other stuff over. Like a necklace takes up no space whatsoever.
No, but you did the right thing. You know why? Because there is no spoon.
There's no spoon.
Me keeping the spoon was like kind of like it's like I didn't get the message quite right. It's like hoarding the spoon across every move, taking it with me everywhere. I don't think that was the message, right?
Yeah, because
No,
there is a spoon.
there is a spoon when I do that. I have hoarded spoon. I can't seem to I can't seem to let
You
go
can't
of the
free your
spoon.
mind. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, and the most ironic piece is when we start
Mhm.
talking about the spoon, I act
Mhm.
like I understand the spoon better than you.
Mm. And yet you
Right?
are the one who has
And
the
yet,
spoon, and I'm the one
I
who
am the
has no
one.
spoon.
There you go. This is the reality. This is how things be, right? Like, the more you think you know it, the less you have it.
Yeah, you're right, and we will have more conversations about the Matrix. We wanted to do an etiquette of the Matrix, which we shall someday, but
Someday.
always down to yeah, important thing to bring up in daily life.
I
Very
agree with you.
important.
Yeah, we must.
Fitting end to this episode. I think this worked out. This was kind of like an all segment. We thought it would be like
Yeah,
a teeny tiny, but there was much to talk about, and I'm sure we will continue revisiting some of these topics. We will. I think this has been highly successful. I think it is worth launching the true crime segment,
we
and
must.
we must. And goodness knows, as we discover that we have many crimes in our lives, and maybe the
Yes,
strange things I have said or overheard this week's segment. And with that, dear listeners, please send us your questions at noetiquettepodcast@gmail.com. We will continue to take your etiquette questions. We like that segment also. We will revisit other etiquette topics coming forward. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next time here on No Etiquette. And until then, remember, it is good etiquette to both look at trash and think of Liza, and look at trash and think of it as itself, and look at trash and think there is no trash, especially if you get rid of it yourself. All right, we're getting very loopy, but we had a great episode. It was a fitting nonsense
Oh.
ending, and we will see you next time.
Good night.